Pay attention, work better. Soo-hyun is sitting at his computer, working on an essay about the causes of the Korean War. He's listening to music on his MP3 player and has 4 windows open on his computer screen: an internet browser, a messenger program, his email inbox, and a word processor. Just as he starts typing a title for his essay, his phone rings. He picks it up. It's his friend Dong-won. As Dong-won starts telling him all about what happened to him last weekend, Soo-hyun gets a new email and quickly writes a reply. He then realizes that he has to go and tells Dong-won that he'll call him back later. He shifts his attention back to his computer and opens an internet search engine. Before he has time to type in causes of the Korean War, his phone beeps, letting him know that he has a new text message. It's from Na-young, a girl he likes. He suddenly forgets about his homework as ideas of love fill his head, and he begins typing a response. Have you ever worked on something important while doing many other things at the same time? Do you think doing many things at once is efficient? Nowadays, it's hard to avoid having our attention divided between many different things. It used to be only busy adults who had to manage doing many things at once, such as working, paying bills, and taking care of their kids. However, teens have recently had to get used to this kind of life as well. As their schedules fill up, they must learn to balance school, organized activities, and social obligations. In addition, new technologies such as smartphones force us to switch our attention instantly between various tasks. This is much less efficient than if we were to focus all of our attention on doing one thing. Paying full attention is particularly important when it comes to learning. Therefore, many researchers are now turning their attention to this issue. Dr. Richard Restak is one researcher who is studying the effects of doing multiple things at once. In his book, The New Brain, Restak talks about various studies which show that whenever we try to do 2 things at the same time, our attention is actually directed towards one activity or the other, rather than to both at once. In addition, we waste time shifting between tasks. Even if we only lose a second or a minute at a time, you'd be surprised by how quickly this lost time can add up. In fact, other researchers discovered that students sending text messages while doing their homework end up spending 50% more time than if they had done each task separately. Time is only one of the reasons why it is not efficient to switch your attention constantly between tasks, explains Restak. The other reason is comprehension. In one study he mentions, people were first asked to do nothing but read. Next, they were given various tasks to do while reading. This time, both the reader's speed and understanding were found to decrease by more than 50%. A similar result occurred with young people who were asked to switch quickly between doing math problems and practical tasks, such as writing an email. Both of these studies showed that not only the speed of carrying out the main task, but also the ability to process and remember the information decreased. Therefore, it is clear that dividing our attention between many things at once makes it more difficult to learn. Scientists have examined the brain for physical evidence to support these results. Dr. Michael Merzenich, one of the world's leading researchers on the brain, has observed that our brain has the ability to form new connections. These connections allow us to process the information on which we are focusing, imprint it in our brain, and learn it. However, when we don't fully focus on what we are doing, the brain cells do not form strong connections, memories do not form, and real learning can't take place. So we can see that there is a deep relationship between paying attention and learning. Unfortunately, we all know that paying attention is not an easy thing to do. That's why it's important to develop good study habits. Here are some good suggestions. Get rid of distractions. Start by finding a quiet place where you can concentrate without being distracted. Make sure to turn off your cell phone so you aren't interrupted by phone calls or text messages. Think about your physical needs. If you have a lot to study, think about what you'll need in advance to avoid getting out of your seat. Grab something to drink and a healthy snack and go to the bathroom before you start. Choose the right time for you. It will be much harder for you to pay attention if you are tired. So, if you're an early bird, choose to study in the morning. If you're a night owl, choose the evening. Quiet your inner voice. Sometimes distractions come from within. Although you're sitting down to study, your mind may be somewhere else. Force yourself to stop thinking and worrying about other things, so that your mind can fully concentrate on what you're studying. Did you give your full attention to this text as you read it? How much do you remember about it? If you don't remember much, it's probably because you let yourself be distracted by other things. Try reading this text again in a quiet place without any distractions. Remember the suggestions for focusing better. You'll most likely find that you remember much more after fully focusing your attention.